Hey, everybody. It's Tim Gillette back here with one more broadcast today in our series of 100 interviews in 30 days. So today's guest was actually on the last season. Technically, I'm now calling my podcast in season. She was on the last season, but her business has progressed. So we want to hear the stories of what's going on because it was very informative and it was probably one of our highest watched shows in the last season. So why not bring those people back to share their story and the progress of what's going on. Sarah Buxbaum and I have met through Craig Duswalt. That's another Nick Lee. Owe me, Craig, for mentioning your name on my podcast. And she's in our mastermind out there, but I met her through Tony Caruso, who was on a couple weeks ago. All right. And very, very great connection, become great friends, and investor in her business. So, I mean, of course, she's going to get all the things she wants because she's a friend and all of that. So let me bring Sarah on and see how well she does with our new tools. Hi, Sarah.
Hey, Tim.
So how do you like the new tools?
I love it. This is so cool.
Yeah. Things have changed just a little bit, and I know now I can broadcast live. They're actually watching us live as opposed to the last time we recorded it.
It's like being on a TV show.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Hopefully I don't say anything that needs to be edited out.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You can't say those words that have to be edited out, Sarah.
I'll try to keep it level-headed.
Yeah. But I get to do things with this platform, Sarah, like this. I can go, okay, and put you on the screen and not me.
Oh, that's, first time I brushed my hair in a few days, so.
Hey, some of us have yet to put something other than pajamas on, so it's okay. It's okay. So number one, what are you doing now that you're stuck at home and you don't have weddings to prep for?
Well, I was actually in the newspaper today for what I've been doing, which is pretty cool. Part of what I'm doing. So my main business for right now the last few years has been dessert and everything. And so I, in the middle of all this, decided to shift gears a little bit and provide desserts for all the first responders and everyone on the front line. And yesterday I opened it up to the grocery stores and the pharmacy. And so I've been delivering cupcakes once a week or so. Yesterday we hit over 2,000 that I've delivered and made so far. And, I have a kitchen. I had all these ingredients when we all got shut down. I had like 3 or 4 events on the calendar for that first weekend. So I'm like, okay, what are you going to do? You can't just sit around and let your business crumble. And I was like, what good can I do right now? And it's just been going. I started it about a month ago.
Mm-hmm. And basically a lot of it though, you had your ingredients pre-ordered anyway, didn't you?
Yeah. When it first, the March 25th, that first weekend, I had 3 pretty decent events that got canceled. And I had already bought, I buy everything in bulk. So I had hundreds of dollars of butter, sugar, and some stuff that is shelf, milk and eggs and things like that. And I'm like, what do I do with all this? Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of when the idea first started. And then I realized, I have no income, so I can't keep funding this. So I'll throw it out there if people want to buy a cupcake for a nurse. And then it kind of just spiraled into that. And then, I was able to make 2,000.
Okay. So you're able to reduce your inventory down, do some good. All right. And at least, you know what I mean? Are you still making a profit doing it, or are you breaking even?
Not really. It's definitely not. I reduced my pricing. Like I kind of took out everything. I was looking at the numbers and everything. I'm like, what do I need to sell these for to at least not lose any more money? I lost so much money that first weekend. And so, I'm not really making any money, but I know that the event industry is going to come back, maybe in a modified way or something. But I just wanted to let people know I'm still here. I'm still, keep my name, my business. So I have to wear a mask and, change my gloves every drop off. It's kind of a hassle in that sense. So I'm only doing those deliveries right now. I'm not taking any other.
Okay.
Any other orders.
But last time we had you on the show, we were talking about what you're planning to do for Nashville. Has this hindered that at all?
So when it first in March, when this, well, I guess February is kind of when we started to learn about all this.
Mm-hmm.
And I was right around about to close this campaign, and I had not hit my minimum yet. And if you don't hit your minimum goal, everyone gets their money back, and that's it. And so I was majorly freaking out. I was like, I've spent the last year building this investment crowdfunding campaign and teaching people about it and doing all these podcasts, your podcasts, all these people's podcasts, teaching people what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, there's no way I'm letting this fail. Like, I'm figuring it out. And so we talked, we had a lot of conversations about what, no one knew what was going to happen. This is also new. And so they kind of kept seeing people wanted to support small businesses.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And, I had to get creative in how I was going to educate people on. Did I freeze? Did my computer?
Yeah,
freeze?
your picture has frozen. So, but your voice is coming through perfect. So I don't know what happened.
Let's see here.
There you go.
There we go.
Came back.
I think everyone is on their internet right now.
Yes. That is the problem with doing these.
Yes. Well, it should be good. I haven't had too many issues on videos. So basically I just said, okay, I was so close. I was a couple $1,000s away from the goal. I mentally, I struggled at the first couple weeks. I'm like, my one business is tanking by the day. No one's booking events for who knows how long. And then on the other side, I'm trying to build this business purely based around tourism and people being together. So I had to really sit down and kind of figure everything out and I took some time to process everything. And then I realized I actually have a great business for when this is over, because people are going to be anxious to get out. People, are a little unsure of the stock market and all that. So I'm giving people an opportunity to invest in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have, my whole thing is targeted toward intimate gatherings. So, I know people were kind of concerned about having these massive things, but for one, I think Tennessee is going to pick back up fairly quick when it's safe, or when, I think
I think Tennessee's going to open sooner than California or New York would. Definitely. Yeah.
I think my event stuff in LA, I'm kind of planning on it being done through the end of the year. I think the big, 100, 150 events are probably not happen in California until the end of the year or next year. But my business is for 6 or 8 girls. So I kind of sat down and I'm like, you have something really good here. And it's going to be a more favorable market for me to buy the property. The rates are looking pretty good. I kind of been monitoring all that. And so, yeah, I mean, it delayed me a little bit, but I crossed the milestone that I needed. And so when we end, I'll probably, still wait a few months. I want to make sure that I'm not sitting on real estate that nobody is allowed to go visit. But I'm still planning on in the next few months it opening up.
Cool. Worried about it? I mean, you still have nightmares and worries like, oh gosh, I've got to make this work. Or are you a little more calm about it? Yeah, this might not work, but I'm okay. I can see it working.
I'm more nervous, honestly, about the dessert business. And I'm not even necessarily worried anymore, because I think in a month or so, I think people will be comfortable to start booking events for next year. Typically, people do book me out 6 months to a year anyway. So I think 2021 is going to be very busy in that sense. But as far as Nashville goes and the Celebration House, I feel even more hopeful than ever that it's going to be, it's people want to get out, and and I'm sure it'll hit a little bit. I'm sure tourism is going to go down. But I also think people are not going to want to stay in big hotels. So even when travel picks up, I think my prediction, based on my, experience in hotels and stuff, working in big properties, and people already being so hyper focused on cleanliness and all that, I think people are going to be safer in a private house versus a hotel room that sleeps 1,000 people.
Mm. Yeah. And right now I was like, a lot of us, like, Craig and I having to cancel our events because of that, and worried about it. While I love going to hotels for events, I'm worried about, who else is going to be in that hotel. You know what I mean? Over the next 6 months, you know what I mean? When I go to those bigger hotels, but Gwen and I, we're like itching to get out right now. We don't want to stay in. But prepping for those smaller events, really, you're not tweaking your business plan at all. You're kind of just being consistent with your business plan. It's just kind of going, okay, I'm scared because of what happened. This is something no one could have ever seen come. Yeah.
But I do think it's, it was brought up to my attention last night. Actually, someone asked me, how does this affect it with social distancing and the hotel industry and all this stuff? And I had to remind her. I said, my dessert business right now, I specialize in food allergies for some people who have life-threatening, food allergies, and people trust me and my business to take care of them. And I think that same level of trust that I've built with my brand over the last 4 years of holding everything to the highest standard, I think it's going to be the same thing for my house. People are going to know, I'm putting air purifiers, I'm putting all the things in, I'm taking the extra steps anyway, just, anything I can. But I had to remember, I do events for people whose kids literally could die if they eat something. And so it was kind of a good reminder that my business, the foundation of my business, is already based around trust. And so I plan on just standing out in that whole Airbnb world. And I think it's just another opportunity, really. And
I mean, in the Airbnb itself, all right, I think is going to be a good rise out of this. But we both know Larry Broughton. I had Larry on a couple weeks ago, and Larry was just, I mean, he's really sweating this. I mean, and he doesn't have the big hotels, but he's got the boutique type hotels that, like, he's just, a little bit above you, but just a little, yeah. The Airbnb, all right, not only are, the Airbnb is going to open up with just a place to stay, but you're like a step above just a place to stay. You know what I mean? You've got a lot more going for it in the fact that you're going to have other things equipped in with it.
Yeah. So, I mean, if people don't even feel comfortable going out to the bars and the restaurants and all of that, and they just want a place to get out of their house, but still get together with their friends, or, they can order in food, they can have movie night, have someone come into the house and do their nails. Like I'm adding a lot of other features now for the people who do just want to get together with their friends, but don't necessarily want to go out and be around, thousands of people. So it was kind of built for that anyway, for people to hang out and be together and have that intimate experience. So, but of course, Nashville does need to open back up. There's still a reason for people to go there.
Yeah. But the ideas into it that when I think about it is, have you started vendor relationships with, like delivery companies and stuff? You started relationships with them out there already, and have you talked to any of them going, well, this timeline?
Yeah, so I've been looking to see what the restaurants are doing, and they did in California, when they started doing the alcohol to go and all
Mhm.
of that, I was like, "How is this even happening?" But Nashville actually did it first, in Texas, where
And
you
of
are.
course, us in Texas, if we can get alcohol and guns to us faster, we're doing it in Texas. Just
So
saying.
you're probably doing that before this even happened. But I mean, the restaurant business there, they're not hurting as much as the businesses here.
Mhm, mhm,
They're doing takeout. They have Postmates and Grubhub and DoorDash, and they're fighting to keep
mhm,
their businesses open.
mhm,
Uh, and I'm hoping in the next few weeks we'll hear something about, the beauty industry and what the nail salons are going to do and massage therapists, because as of now, that's still, questionable. So I want to make the smart business decision as much as I want to open it tomorrow. But there was the process in place anyway that, you know, I still have to purchase the property. I still have to go through all of that and furnish it. So it was still going to be a few months
mhm,
uh,
mhm.
anyway. So most likely, I mean, I'll miss summer, which is a really busy time. But a lot of the wedding industry people are predicting that fall and winter weddings are going to be, people want to, the people who want to get married who don't want to wait another year, who maybe they're making them smaller or, whatever, people are still going to be getting married. People are still going to get together. I still have a few weddings booked for the end of the year that haven't canceled yet. Um, I think, I think a lot will be said in the next couple weeks.
Mhm, mhm.
That's kind of my prediction. I've been watching it obsessively every day. Um,
With
you know,
with with alcohol in hand like us? Oh, no, no.
I just cry. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's happening to everything?
No.
But yeah, I mean, I started to look at all the businesses that came out of the 2008 recession,
Mhm, mhm.
and Airbnb was one of them.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it's scary, but don't cancel your investment. It's gonna work. Is that what you're getting at?
no, no. But it's funny though, because you know what I mean, when some of your things coming out talking about, you know what I mean, needing extra money and stuff like that. Like I wish now, like 3 months ago, I would have pulled more money out of my, you know what I mean, out of my stock account and put it with you.
So I have to tell you,
My
when
stocks are worthless. I gotta wait for them to come back now. Yeah.
yeah, I had, so you know me, I don't like asking for things.
Yeah.
Um, and I didn't want to do that because I
Mhm.
was like, oh my God, people are going to think that I'm desperate or whatever. And then I thought people are going to doubt me. It was the exact opposite. I raised more money in that 24-hour period. It got me well over my minimum mark because so many people added $500, or some people did $100, some people did $1,000,
Mhm.
because people believed in it now more than ever. And I was like, oh, it had the exact opposite
Yeah. Yeah.
reaction that I thought. I'm like, no one has any money right now, but the people that are trusting that things are going to be okay again someday.
Well, if it gets worse around our house, all right, I'm gonna put a cap on the back of my truck, and Gwen and I are gonna sleep in your driveway while we
Okay,
rent our house out, so that we can still make the mortgage payment. Yeah, yeah, we've got it down.
okay, perfect. You already figured out.
um, but no, I mean the stock market, and I thought about it. You know, what I mean, people like you who are like thriving on investments to make that, like my stocks, like oh my gosh, my value dropped 55% in value overnight, and I'm like, oh yeah, and the whole time I'm going, well, it can't get worse. Well, it can't get worse. Okay, I'm gonna stop saying it can't get worse. But
I did the same thing when I had my first few events cancel. I was like, okay, that hurt. but like people are going to cancel like for the summer. It's going to be over by then. And then people started canceling like through December.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my gosh. But now I think it's gonna be split, is my prediction. Like I think half of the people are gonna want to stay in their house for another 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the other half are gonna be like, we're gonna be safe and take our precautions and everything, but let's try to, carry on with life.
So let me ask, which side are you on that?
Oh, I'm ready to get out.
I'm not going to say argument, opinion. Which side are you on?
So I stayed home. I did the, stay home for 2 weeks, self-quarantine, just in case you're a carrier. I've been home for, I haven't left. I go to the store and that's it. And then to do my deliveries, but I've been home. So now I'm like, I am not asymptomatic. I feel like I did my part to protect myself and protect everyone else. I wear a mask when I go out. I wash my hands. I sanitize. And they lifted the ban yesterday and they let here in Ventura County, because in California, we're like the smallest hit county. The numbers are very low. And so yesterday they said up to 5 people, non-family members, can go out, like go golfing again or whatever. And so me, Tony, and Katrina had lunch together at Tony's house. And I'm sure a lot of people thought that was a bad decision, but we didn't hug. We didn't, touch each other. We sat apart and we ate our lunch and washed our hands. But my opinion is, at some point, you can't live in fear.
Yeah.
But be responsible, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So we still been going out like every, I first of all, I hate drive-throughs, but I've been going through McDonald's our Starbucks drive-through every day, and I hate drive-throughs. So Gwen drives her car. First of all, she has a Volvo. I have a diesel truck.
Yeah.
So the first day I went through drive-through by myself. Can you repeat your order? Because they can't hear me over the truck.
Oh.
So we go with Gwen's car so they can hear us, right? And it's just, we go out for that every day. She goes to the grocery store on like Fridays and Saturdays. She'll do the grocery run. But other than that, like my truck, I have not. I got home from my last trip. I came from Orange County where I was speaking, flew home, and, on the 9th or 10th of March, my truck, I filled it up with fuel at like the end of or beginning of April, because like fuel was so cheap. I'm like, I'm filling my truck up. All right.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's this cheap. It will never be this cheap again. Huh?
How much is gas where you are?
Gas is like 120. Diesel's like almost just under 2.
120?
Yeah.
Oh, we hit 279, and I was like, I need to fill up my car.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But like my truck's still full. Right. It's like, is anybody else getting 4 weeks to the gallon right now? It's like, and, part of it is like, okay, I'm not going out. I'm not doing anything, but, I'm stuck at home, but I want to go out.
Yeah.
I really don't. In the beginning, I went to the grocery store once with my mom, but other than that, I'm not going out if I don't have to. But we started walking around the block.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing. It's like your mental. I mean, the mental side of everything is almost as bad as the risk of getting the virus, in my opinion. Like, just being alone and not having that energy with people. Video is great. I love that, I've been able to talk to people all over the place, but I miss people like that. I hope that changes soon.
Yeah.
I'll wear a mask. I don't care.
Well, I don't even wear a mask when I go out. Like, we're in Collin County, but the city of Dallas, and just over the line to Dallas County, they're required to wear masks. So I just haven't gone into Dallas at all. But like, I'm still going, I'm going to go to the Starbucks. That's about it. Today, a guy that I normally catch at Starbucks and hang out, he was in the car in front of me in drive-through, and he noticed my truck. So he gets out of his car and just I love you, man. I miss you. It's like, it's like that thing. Like we all miss each other, seeing each other. But we pulled over and we sat talking across the car length.
Uh-huh.
Like my car was on his passenger side, so we can talk. That's the closest we can to hang out. Yeah, we miss that human contact. I did tease Tony and said, so when I come out now, you're going to give me a hug, huh? And because she's not a hugger. But yeah, and trying to foresee it, and you know what I mean. Yeah, we want it, but we don't want to force it back. That's why I ask what your opinion is on it. To me, it's not right or wrong. You want to stay home, stay home.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You think it's unsafe for people to go out, stay at home. If you don't think it's unsafe, don't preach at the ones who do and don't preach at the ones who are. Just let it go.
Yeah, have an opinion, do what is best for you.
Mm-hmm.
And we've done, I feel like we've all done our part in staying home in self-quarantine and protecting, because that was the big fear at the beginning was,
Mm-hmm.
well, just because you're fine and you don't care, you could be getting someone else sick who could die. Yeah. I mean, I'm sensitive to that. Like it is scary because obviously you don't want to catch it, but then at the same time, like I don't get the flu shot. So like I want to get this vaccine when it is ready. So I'm not going to wait home for that. That's just my opinion. The 1 year I got the flu shot, I had a terrible flu. So I don't know. I think people should be able to do, we've all come together to do everything. And I mean, I'm not going to New York anytime soon.
I'm not either. Yeah. No.
That is scary. I think in like the hot spots, that's so scary, but
the way we're going, all right. They don't let us on a plane soon. We're going to drive to Napa to get wine. From our house. It's a trip, but we don't care.
Are you really doing that?
No. Part of my travels for the summer was I was going to drive to Nashville for Craig's event that got canceled. But like I was going to be bringing his stuff up in my truck and then, and then bring it back to Texas when we were done. But like now that's off, so I'm not driving that. But like I want to take a road trip or something because I feel like I'm boxed in.
Mm-hmm. Vegas is opening.
Huh?
Vegas is trying to open up.
I know. I don't know. I'm not a Vegas person. I would rather go to Napa. You know what I mean? And I'm
not a Vegas person either, but I'm like, hey, no one's going to be there. The rooms are like $40 a night. Yeah. No, but it's hot. See, that's the other thing. Like, I wish we knew, like, does the heat actually kill it?
Have you heard that too? Some people say the heat does. And then other people are like, well, okay, what's the truth? We don't know.
Yeah. I mean, like it seems like most viruses can't, I mean, I'm not a doctor, but most can't live over 80 degrees or so. So now, I don't know about you today, it's like 95 degrees here. Mm-hmm. Vegas is probably super hot. Mm-hmm. The thing is, the surfaces is scary. Like, I'm not worried about contracting it from like someone hugging me, but like touching a bunch of things like elevators, that part does kind of worry me a little.
So anyway, one of the things I still want to talk with you because you kind of inspired me what you were doing with the cupcakes, right? And going to Starbucks every day, I worried about those guys. So basically, Easter Sunday, I pulled my grill out. I cooked a rack of ribs and new sauce and took it down to them. The next day, they told me, hey, when you come in with your coffee, you want your coffee, don't go through drive-through, just order it on the app and then pull out front and tell us, and we'll walk it out to you. So I did that the next day because I had to come back to do an interview. And the guy says to me, the assistant manager, you're the one who brought the ribs yesterday. And I'm like, yeah. He said, the people love it. You got to do that for the evening crew next time. So Sunday, 2 racks of ribs, take them down, drop my, and then I literally pull up to the door, call them. Hey, I'm in the black truck out front. I have 2 racks of ribs out here for you guys. Come out and get them. And the guy's like, huh? He goes out and he gets them. He's like, oh, wow. It's just, you're helping people who need it. So,
well, and people appreciate it. I mean, the reactions that I have been getting from people have been, it's like, they don't expect it. And it's so nice. Mm-hmm. And it's not a big thing, like a rack of ribs, some cupcakes. Like, it's not life changing. We're not paying people's bills. We're not, but I I think it's so inspiring how people have come together to make a difference and
Yeah,
create.
the charity of people comes out in something like this.
Mhm.
You see that out there too? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I added a thing in Nashville for the anyone who was a nurse or anyone who worked on the front line during all of this, and I'm extending for 6 months for anyone, who stays there. I'm gonna be doing something special for all the nurses and,
Mhm.
um, all the women who have been working through all of this because they're gonna need a break. And when they get it, I want them to know that, my business appreciates them,
Mhm, mhm.
and, that wasn't something that I'd planned on doing, but I'm like, "Oh," once I saw the reaction with the cupcakes and everything, I was like, "What could I do to carry this on, in the
Mhm.
next part of the business?" So
Yeah. So, I mean, and you remember, or, well, after 9/11, you know what I mean? So many people would stop a cop on the street and thank him. You know what I
mhm,
mean? It's like it put a whole new perspective of thanks towards our firemen and our police officers and stuff like that. Well, this is going to be the same way for the doctors and nurses and
mhm.
stuff, you know what I mean, who have to go work on this stuff. Yeah, we're gonna, be telling them thank you for months to come. You know what I mean, possibly years. We'll be doing things for them, I think. And I think us as business owners, that should be our first thought is always to pay back our community.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I agree. I think that's gonna be what sets and I hate to say, like, how do we benefit from this?
Mhm,
Like,
mhm,
I don't wanna say it like that, but I think it gives us an opportunity to really show people the tenacity of entrepreneurs
mhm, mhm,
and also, the good in people.
mhm, mhm,
People wanna support good people. I've always believed that, I've always said that. I know that now after seeing, being able to successfully do an investment campaign in what is the worst economic time that I've ever seen as a business owner and as an adult. I was young when 9/11 happened.
mhm,
I remember the effect that it had on people, but I didn't appreciate it in the sense of, like, a business.
mhm, mhm.
Um, and it's like that is cool to me that I'm like, I had to kind of step back it was actually last night that I was on the closing call for our closing week of WeFunder.
Mhm, mhm,
And they were like, they're like, we thought you were gonna back out. Like we weren't sure if you were gonna see this through because so many people quit when
mm,
it gets really tough and quitting was never an option ever for me. So I didn't really like think anything of it. And then Kathleen, the lady who's been helping me, she emailed me and she's like, I hope you like stopped and took in that praise that they gave you
mhm.
because a lot of people are quitting right now and they're shutting their doors and you're looking for a way to navigate it and that inspires people. I'm like, really? Like that's just not in my nature to quit. Like so
Well, Sarah, I really think, you know what I mean? This is, praise to you. I mean, I really think, I mean, the year I met you, you know what I mean? You were put together as one of the, I mean, future lead. I don't remember the thing was future leaders or something at the conference for e-women,
mhm, I was an emerging leader.
emerging leader. And I'm going to tell you right now, out of the group of women who stood on that stage, I think you're going to be the leader. Think
Thank
about it. I really believe that because you are pushing forward in difficult times. So,
thank you. I hope so.
yeah.
I yeah, I to me I don't really I look at it as just kind of doing my part. I mean, people have been giving me a lot of praise for what I'm doing in the community and stuff
Mhm.
and I've been picked up in a few newspapers and things like that and I never did it with the intention of having it.
Getting the yeah, PR. You just were doing it.
Yeah, I'm like, this is what you do. You have a responsibility as a business owner.
Mhm, mhm,
I don't it and I don't know. It's been a very emotional few months, especially ending this raise. I'm at $53,000 now,
mhm, mhm,
um, and it ends in 6 days, and it's going to be something to talk about when this is all said and done. Of scaling your business in not the most ideal time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think crowdfunding is actually going to be a very big thing now.
Yeah, it's good. A lot of people are going to need it just to start a business now. Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope I can help them, or you'd be so proud of me. I started a blog about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Cool.
trying to get all my thoughts together and blog about the whole crowdfunding experience.
We were talking about the giving back to the community. I'm actually putting in, and I mean, I don't know if a lot of other leaders are thinking about this, but like my events is I'm going to put a portion of all my ticket sales to go to a charity every time. And now I'm doing like this, my one that I have to do virtually. We're partnering with a charity here in town that is basically keeping like the restaurant workers money coming in to employ them to work at the food banks to prep food for people. And I'm like, oh, I like that. So, I mean, I called this lady and said, listen, I do an event and I'm looking for a charity partner. She was on the phone with me in 3 hours. Like, yeah, we'll partner with you. I mean, my event's not 50,000 people. It's, maybe 100.
Yeah.
If I'm lucky. Oh, no. We're willing to work with you, and we'll set up a separate page so we know how much your group gave. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So we're putting 50 in our case, because we did a $20 ticket, we're doing 50% of the money goes to this charity.
That's so cool.
Plus, we're doing a campaign during the event to raise money for them.
I love it. Like people have always needed help, and they get overlooked. Like I think it says a lot about each business owner too. Like, what do they connect to?
Yeah.
And then other people connect to that, and it's really cool to see how everyone is handling it.
Yeah, I think as you build out Nashville, all right, you will also stand out there if you do something along that lines with charity in the neighborhood. There, you'll stand out as a leader in Nashville, and you'll be like one of the people who doesn't actually live in Nashville, unless you're planning on moving there. Doesn't live in Nashville, but is the biggest community supporter.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I guess if I don't have a business in California anymore, if that falls apart, which I hope it doesn't, I hope that the event.
Hey, we'd still welcome you in Texas. I'm just saying, we'd love you in Texas.
I love Texas too. Yeah. I don't know, that it's scary to be in an event, and a large event-based business. That business is all around, like I said, over 100 people. I don't feel very confident that that's going to happen anytime soon in California. LA is not, they're not as bad as New York, but they have pretty high numbers of cases in LA, and I do a lot of events in LA. So that's for sure not happening.
Yeah.
But I think that, I was worried when I was opening Nashville. My fear was that I was going to have to very carefully, be in California a certain amount of the time to do those events and get everything up and running in Nashville. Well, now I will have plenty of time to just stay there for a few weeks and just get it all ready to go instead of having to go back and forth. And I've been looking every day at houses, and I'm back on. I went from, oh, this is only going to last a couple weeks, my business will be fine, to the ultimate low of, that whole mess with the loans and unemployment. And, I haven't gotten any money from any of that. So I'm like, all of those emotions. And then to now being like, okay, we crossed it. I'm not touching the money. We close on the 29th. It's going to sit in a bank account for a few months until things come back. I'm not going to go start spending my investors' money in a time of uncertainty right now. And then, yeah, what are all the things that I can do to be safe and get people to celebrate? I think that, yeah, it's sad. I mean, the whole thing it's been very depressing. I have a lot of friends in the food industry, and who own restaurants and things like that, and all my vendor friends who, our bread and butter is weddings
Mhm.
and
And they're not happening.
and canceled.
Yeah.
So it's sad. But hopefully it
Well,
comes.
here in Texas, I mean, a couple of restaurants, and I've worked with some of them, giving them ideas with. They were doing these like grocery packs.
Mhm.
So like, you know what I mean? It had like eggs, bread,
Yep.
and one restaurant was actually doing it, and they had like, a growler of beer because they're a beer restaurant. And another one actually did it, and it had a 4-pack of toilet paper. I mean, it was
Yep.
like funny the stuff that was in the grocery pack.
How cool is that? That restaurants like I'm. That's like where my like entrepreneur brain just like runs wild. When restaurants first started doing this like marketplace,
Mhm, mhm.
that is so cool.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, I love it.
Yeah. But I mean, right now, I mean, the people who might have listened to this podcast, whether they listen live or they listen to the recording, all right, some of them are on the verge of giving up. And you know what I mean? You who's pushing through, I really would like you to give them advice. What is your advice to them right now? Because you're pushing through on this, and they're facing, they may not be making an investment into a new property, but they're trying to keep their head above water. What's
Yeah,
your advice to them?
I think what I keep telling myself is we've chosen to be a business owner, which is scary in any point of life. Um, I've been at rock bottom before, and I know now that I can come up from that and succeed. So I think that helps me a lot to know that it can always get worse. um, but if you can't push through in the challenging times, there's always going to be some sort of challenge, whether it's the economy, people aren't ordering, there's always going to be something. And if you look at all those as an opportunity, how you can do your business different, or what can you do to help other people? Maybe it's not even about money. My thing right now has just been giving and loving my community. And in turn, that is giving a very positive view of my business, which again was not planned like that. But, don't don't crumble. It's hard, but it's going to be, there's always going to be something that's hard. I've only been in business for 4 years, and I've had all kinds of adversity and things like that. Like, my whole story, I started with no money.
Mhm.
Um, so I think, obviously be very responsible. I'm not buying anything. I'm not shopping for anything. Luckily I don't put makeup on no, I don't go anywhere. So I'm saving money on that side. I barely do my hair, but just be on the bare minimum. And look, I mean, I was considering, if I wasn't able to keep things afloat, go drive for DoorDash. There's something to do to make money.
Mhm,
Get
mhm.
creative. Make sure your bills get paid. Pat Wally, in our mastermind, his whole thing is don't let your credit fall apart. Don't let, So I called up my credit card companies, and they're all saying, yeah, we'll waive the interest for the month or whatever.
Mhm,
You know,
mhm,
it's a good time to reflect on and build a strong foundation.
mhm,
Um, it's hard. I know a lot of people are seeing the very positive things I'm posting on social media and very cheerful and happy, but this has been very hard, mentally on me. And I want to inspire people. This is hard. But being a business owner and being a successful leader is also hard. So now is our time to shine, I think, and do what we can and cry. I cry a lot. I Yeah, I'm a people person. The part, I know that the jokes on social media, so I'm sure you've seen them, like the introverts are like, "Oh, this is great. Nothing's changed." And then like the people like me, like I was devastated when events started to get canceled because I thrive off people.
mhm, mhm.
I'm like, "What?" And it hit me really hard. I had people texting me on Zoom calls saying like, "Are you okay?" Like sending me messages like they knew I was not okay. And I was trying to like put on a happy face and everything, but everyone's going through the same, not, everyone's affected differently. And I have to say, so about my foundation, and I do stuff in South Africa. And it's always been very like two different worlds. It's a third world city, all this stuff. Right now, we're in the same. I've been seeing pictures of those communities, and I'm like, they're facing the same struggles that we are. And it's very humbling. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's eye-opening. The whole thing is just weird and sad, and there's just so many emotions.
Yeah. It is. And I mean, I was one of those people on a conference call we were on with Craig. All right. Like I'm messaging you. I was like, you're not on camera. Are you okay?
I was not okay. Yeah. I didn't, my computer was having issues. It did break at the beginning of all this, which also is unfortunate. I was able to make it work, but I can't move it even like an inch because I obviously cannot buy a new computer right now. And so I was doing a lot of calls on my camera, and yeah, I mean, I didn't want to see anybody. Yeah. I didn't know what to do. Like, yeah, but I feel better now.
Yeah. So yeah, in the midst of doing this, Sarah, my computer that I broadcast from, it's got issues with the internet. First of all, because of the internet, all right, it doesn't have like the RAM or something like that. I don't have enough. So doing interviews, it relies on really good internet to use this computer, and I'm like, and I don't have the money to replace it right now.
Yeah. I'm like, come on, computer, don't fail me now.
Don't fail me now. I just took on this whole thing anyway. Yeah.
Has it been working? Did you get it?
Yeah, I got it working enough, and I got my laptop here. And if I have to, I can go to my laptop. Just I have to lift the laptop up because the camera here is up higher. The laptop camera would be here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting creative. We're definitely getting creative around here.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and somebody else has messaged me, speakers for my event. Like I'm trying to put all my speakers together for my event right now, and everybody's messaging me about questions. One of my speakers is in Australia. So our clock differences to try to get messages back and forth is interesting.
Is it Christine Flosdale?
No, it's not. It's this guy, Andrew Eggleston. I know.
You know 2 people in Australia? That's so cool.
I know more than that in Australia. I know several people.
Really?
Yeah. One of my main guys, he's not on this show, but he'll watch it tomorrow. One of my main people is Nazim, and he's in Italy.
Oh, that's so cool.
He watches almost all of my broadcasts. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So anyway, so Sarah, you know what I mean? If people want to get a hold of you, all right, or find out more about your business and you, what is the website that they can reach you at?
It's celebratewithsarah.com.
Okay, cool. So I want to make sure that they can still connect with you and still watch the advancements of what you're doing and stuff like that.
Yeah, so, I mean, I have plenty of time to chat with whoever wants to talk. Yeah, all my social media, Celebrate with Sarah, Facebook, Instagram, everything.
Cool. And yeah, you have been giving some very inspirational posts on Facebook. Just saying.
Oh, thank you. I'm trying. Yeah. Jeff Wolf, actually, he called me a few weeks ago, and I was on his podcast a few months ago, and he kind of revamped he gave me a little bit of hope again. He kind of helped me snap out of my funk, because he's like, you're a leader. This is like, you can't, people are counting on you to keep bringing that inspiration and keep sharing your story and everything. And I was like, you know what? You're right. Like,
well, we all go through it. And literally my happy hour thing I do every night now, Larry Broughton popped on it one night, and Larry was really like, you can see, I could, cause I know Larry, could see in his eyes that like, he was like, And I just said, I literally went, okay, Larry. So Larry, how are you doing? And he messaged me after that. He goes, no one stopped and asked me how I was doing because they expect me to be the leader all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I watched his video that he did. I love him. Since the day Craig introduced me to him, I have just loved everything about what he does, who he is as a person, and watching how he's handled being in the hospitality industry in this time. It's, he's just such a cool person.
He is.
And I feel for him. I feel for everyone who's just, it's, yeah.
And literally, I mean, just like, like Jeff was doing it for you. All right. There's going to come a time that you're going to do it for someone else. And you know that, you know what I mean? Over the years, Jeff's done it for me. I've done it for Jeff. I mean, and that's what we do, as leaders. Just because we can get on camera and look all smiley does not always mean it's okay. All right. And I encourage you guys, those people are watching, reach out to those people that you think might be the Superman in your world that sometimes they may need. Hey, how you doing? Yeah.
Yeah. The people that have reached out to me, and I feel bad because I normally always call people and check in, and I haven't. I mean, I just like couldn't bring myself to. I'm like, I'm trying to take care of myself, and but if the few people that have called me, and I'm like, you know what? I'm so glad that you called me. It changed my whole day.
Yeah.
And now that they all boosted me up. Now I'm trying to reach out to people and say, are you okay? What can I do? Want to FaceTime?
Cool. Well, I've enjoyed having you on here again and getting an update that, you are full, you have reached your goal and you're moving forward. And that's why I want to have you on again. So
thank you. I always loved being on your show and hanging out with you. I can't wait till we can do it in person again.
Yeah, I think that may be one of my next, versions of my show is doing a live series, but with people. But I don't know. We'll see. I develop them as I go.
Yeah, we're all just changing things daily around here.
Well, I did. My first one was, as you were on the last time when I was doing it there, I would record it on Zoom and broadcast it out. And then I had some of it where people would give me their questions and I would this one, I'm like, you know what? This round is I'm interviewing 100 people, 30 days, and I'm going to start making my show about asking them about their business. Yeah, I'm promoting you. I'm talking about you, but I want to make it a conversation. I don't want to do this 6 formal questions you have to ask that you're asked the same 6 questions on every interview you go to, and I don't want to be that interview. But I'm also practicing my interview skills. So people say, why are you doing this? Number 1, to get better at interviewing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you're a great interviewer. I love being on your shows. And
well, we'll have you back. Maybe you will be the consistent person that comes back season after season on my show.
I would love that. Especially once I get my blog started that you've been bugging me about for 2 years.
Yeah. So, well, Sarah, as I close out my show, all right, you've been on before. The game is still here.
Oh, no.
Tim has a list of 9 things this time to ask you this or that.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
Some of them are still there. They're just worded different. And some of them have changed because, let's face it, I want to find out different things about you now.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, let's do this.
I always get a little nervous during this part.
Number 1, I'd like to find out who my geeks are. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Neither. I've never seen either of them. I know. People give me a hard time about that.
Number 2, bagel or donut?
Donut.
What kind of donut?
Well, it has to be gluten-free because I have celiac. Any kind. Anything fried and covered in sugar. Done.
My mom made these like little donut hole things with cinnamon and sugar, and she comes by. I don't know if you want to taste these or not. Like, gone. And I down in 3 minutes. Yeah.
Sweet and savory.
Yeah. My next one is I twisted it a little bit. How about wine or whiskey?
Wine.
Okay. And of course, my traditional taco or hamburger.
Taco.
My next one's going to take a twist. We're going to the movies. Are you going to get popcorn or candy?
Both.
When this is all done, the big bucket.
Yeah, both, because you need the salty. You can't go to a movie and not get popcorn, but you also can't not have something sweet after salty.
Yeah. Well,
sorry, does that go against the rules?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, because I can't answer that.
My next one, probably you've not known this one, but it's coming. High heels or boots?
Boots, but high heels once in a while.
Oh, okay.
Nashville, are you kidding me? My cowboy boots are my favorite pair of shoes.
Had to put that in there for the Nashville twist. Just saying.
Yes, necessary.
Okay, the next one, number 7. Does pineapple belong on pizza? Yes or no?
No. And I just before this happened, I was in Hawaii and had the best pineapple of my life. And it's even more confirmed that it does not belong on pizza.
You know, opinions vary.
To me, that is not an opinion.
And that is why that question is now part of my thing, because that is a dominating yes or no question.
Yes, that is not where it belongs.
Okay. My next one, you've heard me ask it before, but I'm going to say toilet paper, over or under?
Over.
No.
Also not an opinion.
I had this girl on like 2 weeks ago from New Hampshire, and this is the greatest answer I've gotten since doing this. And she goes, well, I'm single, and when I'm dating a guy, if I go to his house after the 3rd time of having to change it from under to over, I break up with him. This is a relationship that is going nowhere.
I won't lie to you. The first time I went to Jason's house, I was like, oh, good, he does the toilet paper the right way.
So, yeah.
There's just some.
Tell Jason to get on my show.
Yes, he should. He's doing all kinds of things.
Jason, the address is timgillette.com/podcast interview.
I will send him the link when we get off the call.
Yeah. So I set it up as a whole funnel system because I'm teaching the system at Blog and VideoCon. So yeah, I got it down. Just go to podcast interview and you sign up and it takes you through the whole process.
Yes, it was super easy to do it all and everything.
Did you? Well, no. I'm not going to ask you that on camera. I'm going to ask you off camera.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'll tell you why later. Okay. So my last one, I tweaked it a little bit just in case you were ready for it. Boxers, briefs, or bikini?
For men or women?
Doesn't matter. I just threw out 3 choices for you to pick one. And I can go back to the last recording to see what your last one was.
Do men wear bikini underwear?
I'm not saying that I've ever seen that, but
I'm going to say because I'm in the spirit of summer, I'm full bikini mode right now. And I'm not even going to ask why that's in this category. I have a lot of questions.
I had to make it interesting because you heard you might have heard them before and remember them, and I had to tweak them so you didn't get the same ones.
Yes, that one threw me. Good job for throwing that in.
It's designed to be fun. It really is. It's just fun and games, and I appreciate you answering them and going through it again. But so, Sarah, one more time, tell them your website so they can find you and keep in touch with you.
CelebrateWithSarah.com, and on there is everything about Nashville, what I'm doing with the community, with the cupcakes. Everything is on there.
Cool.
And this podcast will be on there when I can figure out how to do that.
After she comes to Blog and VideoCon and learns how to do it. Yes.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah. So, Sarah, thank you for being on the show again today. And you, the listeners, thank you guys for tuning in. All right. And go support people like Sarah who are out there supporting their local community while still trying to keep a business afloat. And, I appreciate you guys, the listeners, tuning in every day. Tim Gillette Show. Follow us we're now on iTunes. We're on Anchor FM. We're on YouTube. We're all everywhere, guys. Go check us out, and I will see you guys next time. Bye now.